But first, let's talk about what's hot now. All right, we are starting with a wild story out of Florida. It's always Florida where these wild stories come out of. Okay,
we pick them.
Yes, exactly. Well, 3 12-year-old girls in Florida were arrested and charged with felonies after authorities say they poisoned their English teacher. Oh, wow. Well, the poison the students used was red pepper flakes, which they snuck into the teacher's Mountain Dew after she sent one of them to the principal's office for pouring glue in another student's backpack. The girls were held in a juvenile detention center after their arrest. So is this appropriate, or did the authorities go too far, do you think?
Well, I love that the Mountain Dew is not the poison, it's the red pepper. But this is way too far. They're 12-year-olds, it's a prank. I mean, that's what suspension's for, expulsion, and then your parents better give you a talking to.
Though, you read in that, Meredith said...
They're getting very unrestful up there because they're right, because they should be punished for what they did.
But a felony?
Absolutely.
Well, even the teacher said she would not have turned them in if she thought they were going to get arrested.
These girls had done 3 other things prior to this.
Right,
and it's sort of like a 3-strike law. What they did, the glue, the pepper, and they did a couple other things.
One girl did the glue and the something else in the backpack.
It's sort of like you have to face the consequence of your actions. And I have little girls and kids, and I know it's young, and 12 is young, but if they're doing stuff like that, you have to know.
But is it disciplinary action within the school, or do you bring the cops in?
I think in the school, I'm going to agree with this, and I don't know if the felony to have a record for this is really worth it.
And go to juvie. You know what these kids are going to be learning at juvie?
But it might scare them straight.
But you also should know that you don't get to retaliate because your teacher has punished you in a certain way to just do whatever you want.
That's different. I agree with that, but how do you determine what the punishment should be?
I mean, they feel like they have a real problem. Glue, pepper. I mean, what is this, a chemistry class? Are they MacGyver? I mean, you know, putting glue. I mean, they should have put some glue in my tracks because I can use a few back here.
I don't know. I feel like this goes beyond school jurisdiction. I have a problem with that. I think when you call cops on something like pepper flakes, I mean, come on. Like, I could see if it was a habanero pepper, maybe, okay, a habanero pepper, but 3 pepper flakes
we
and
don't know
soda?
how this teacher would have reacted to that. I've had some hot peppers that have made me lose my breath.
She had an allergic reaction and almost died at one point, and then sort of retracted on that. She went to the nurse's office, and I think her blood pressure was up, and then 15 minutes later was down. But so we don't know all the particulars.
It would be different if they were intending to kill her with these red pepper flakes. Then yes, felony charges might be, warranted.
Well, what do you think the intent was when they threw the stuff in her drink? They wanted her to have some type of reaction.
Well,
they wanted her
to have a hot mouth.
What we're missing maybe is the fact that they've done some stuff before, and so maybe there's a policy at the school, like you do 3 things, you think it's like sort of like consequence.
We all agree there should be some repercussion, right? Everybody agrees with that. Something. All right. Whether that went too far is another matter. All right, there is a debate raging in Alabama, another school story, over whether a high school administration should track its students' social media accounts to head off potentially violent problems, and then use that information to punish those who are considered a threat. This is a Huntsville City Schools procedure, and it would allow the superintendent to use the social media posts, public or private, to take action against the students. It amounts to social media snooping. Is that justified?
So I think we're discussing this, and I think when we apply for a job, people go on your social media to see what you've posted or how you conduct yourself. And I always like to say this: if my kid, when they get of age to go on social media, I'm on their social media. I'm not their friend. I'm going to snoop on their social media. I'm going to watch what they're doing.
But you think the school should be snooping?
I think it's sort of like public domain a little bit. Social media is out in the open.
They're deciding which kids they think are going to be cause trouble.
They're cherry picking these kids.
To profiling certain kids, and then we already have enough of a problem with that in public schools already. This opens the door to everyone judging actions that aren't taking place on campus. This is happening outside of the school.
Bullying,
Where does the school's jurisdiction end? That's the problem for me.
I think for me the issue is that if you're a student and you're under a school's jurisdiction at some point in time and you're interacting with another student, if it's inappropriate and it leads to someone wanting to commit suicide, I'm all for them getting on to see when someone's being bullied, what you're saying to that person.
Yeah, in this case...
That's a little different, though, right? Yeah, that's
in this case, you just have to trust the teachers and trust the school that they're trying to do what they can, and good. They're not trying to make, these students embarrassed. This is a really nice life lesson to learn in this day and age of anything you put out there on social media, everyone can see.
But that's what the school is saying, right? Well, they say they can still look at it.
So if my account is private, the principal can still request me, and I have to.
But I don't know if they can get on. Like Instagram, you can't or something. But maybe it's sort of like think before you post. Maybe it's a parent's conversation with the kids. Like, hey, there's going to be consequences and actions of whatever you post. So there's a good lesson to think before you post.
Yeah, but the administration is saying, if you read the article, that we're doing this to protect our students. But there are those other people who say this whole thing started after kids started posting violence at the schools, you know, where like when other kids were beating up kids.
Oh, so like
and then
videos like that.
And the school was not reporting it, so they wanted to be quiet about it because they're not doing their job. So the genesis may have nothing to do about protecting the students. It might have been protecting themselves. So that's interesting.
They're caring about their interests,
Right.
the kids, really.
Well, some people believe that. So,
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Speaking of monitoring, how far would you go to keep an eye on your kids? On a recent episode of Jimmy Kimmel Live, Chef Gordon Ramsay claimed he pays his 16-year-old son, he pays this kid, Jack, $100 per week to keep an eye on his 17-year-old daughter, Megan, and then report back what she has been up to. I personally think that's bad. I don't like it. I
Let me
think
tell you something.
You don't pit one kid against the other. You don't have kids spying on each other.
At 16 years old, $100 a week, I would have followed the president around.
No, but
It's the truth. And I had I came from a household where you didn't really have any privacy. I remember getting a letter in the mail over summer break, and as soon as that letter came in with my name on it, my grandmother opened that thing up and read it and was like, there you go. Because we didn't have any privacy as a child. It was like, you know, I need to know what's coming in, who's doing what with you, because you're under my house, under my rule.
What about trusting to some degree until your child gives you reason not to trust? I mean, I didn't spy on my kids. I never would have asked one to spy on the other one.
Did you ever ask Lily? Like,
I did.
Say like,
yes,
hey,
okay.
what are Ben and them up to?
No. Yeah, I did do that. And not for money. They might. Well, I don't remember who said, but at any given time, one or the other said, I don't know, and I wouldn't tell you if I did.
I'm going to be the biggest sleuthing dad ever. Low jack on the car. I mean, I'm going to know exactly where they're going to be at all times. I'm going to spy
Well, I
on
don't
them
blame
like
you for
no
that.
other. But they'll never know I'm spying. That's the key. You
That's
can't
what
let them
you
know.
mean.
You can't let
that's
them
what
know.
they'll know.
They'll know how to turn that thing off.
Yes.
Guaranteed.
We'll
They're much
see.
smarter
Kids
than
are
you,
always
Lance.
one step
We
ahead.
shall
Yeah.
see.
All right, let's move on. Okay, here's a socially awkward dilemma for you. Have you ever been with a friend or somebody that you work with and notice that they really have serious body odor and you don't know, right? And you like the person.
Yes.
I mean, in many cases, you like the person or they're a coworker and you do not know how to handle it. There is a new product, okay, that allows you to send them a message in the form of cologne wipes anonymously over the internet. It's called, and it's a catchy title, My Friend Smells. Yeah.
That's what they get?
My Friend,
It says on the box, My Friend Smells?
I guess that's the name of the product. It's
wow.
anonymous. They don't know
That's
you
bold.
sent it, but you get either one packet or I think you can get 4 packets of these little wipes. And it's supposed to, alert the person. Oh my goodness.
I would be so offended.
I'm all for it because number one, girl, you know I smell good.
I smell good. Do I need My Friend Stinks?
Would you do it?
No, I would. We used to
Yeah.
do it. See, we used to do it at our church, and it wasn't anonymous. You know, when you had a little odor, we give you a little care package from the Lord.
From the Lord.
With deodorant, the Lord gave you deodorant, a wash rag, some
That's
Febreze.
something that says the Lord sent this.
Yeah.
That is-
You
Something like that.
gotta hit them arms.
Everybody knows this. Everyone knows that cologne over BO is just going to make the BO worse. That's a hygiene problem, not a cologne problem.
But we are the biggest frauds at this table because there's somebody that we know very well, and we've debated this literally for months.
I would say
Meredith. And none of us have said anything, right? So, but is it mean? Is it mean because ultimately you're doing that person a favor because you love the person? They may not know it.
They're used to the smell. They don't know.
Because sometimes it's like, I was a cigarette smoker too, and I had no concept that my clothes reeked of smoke. I would have, so I would go see my parents, and I always pretended I didn't smoke. My mother would go, "Oh my God, you stink," and I go, "What are you talking about?" Not knowing that my clothes stunk. So so I think sometimes with somebody who might have body odor, and all of us have been there at some point, they may not even know that it's embedded in their clothes, so they don't smell
Well,
it.
you gotta know that every time somebody walk in the room, they go, woof, woof.
Yeah, I know.
Right in here.
Well, I think we're all in this together. So if you can help someone out and do it anonymously, why not, right? Why not?